What is going on, everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com here. We've got another live stream for all of you. And today we're going to be talking about the cryptocurrency market bounce. As you can see here, I'll go ahead and clean up this chart real quick. We are now moving above 20,500. And this is due to kind of, reaching the lows of the $18,000, $17,500 was our around our exact bottom. And since then, right, we got a pretty nice bounce of already 16%. So this happened very quickly. This bounce was a very fast bounce. And as you can see, that's pretty impressive, right? Over 15% in literally just a day for Bitcoin. Of course, after dropping so much in recent days and weeks, we are getting a very nice bounce from that. The question is, are we going to sustain this bounce? And I just want to welcome everybody who is hopping in the stream. I enjoyed streaming so much yesterday, actually, that I thought, why not go ahead and do another one for all of you. So if you enjoy these streams, please make sure to leave a huge like, and we will be covering everything that's going on with Bitcoin right now and other cryptocurrencies as well. As usual, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I'm watching all the comments live, and we're going to be running some technical analysis on this Bitcoin bounce as well as other coins out there. Now, Ethereum is also getting a very nice bounce, actually even a stronger bounce than Bitcoin, up a massive 16% in the past 24 hours alone. So a lot of you might be wondering, is this the market bottom? Was it a smaller bottom than we expected, and we bottom out at around 17,500, 18,000, and are we basically up from here, right? Did you miss the bottom? Is this bounce going to last? Well, I'm going to answer those questions. And the first thing that I want to say about, is this the true bottom? I don't think so. If you watched my stream yesterday, I was pretty bearish, and I mentioned that true bottoms always require a big buy wick. So this is a very common pattern in technical analysis, and what these wicks are is live proof that buyers are buying up the price levels, thereby signaling a true bottom. If we look back here, right, this was actually the true short-term bottom because we took a long time to stabilize after that. We did indeed drop again, but that was the short-term bottom, right? Was the bottom here? No, it wasn't. We fell lower. Was the bottom here? No, it wasn't. We fell lower. And why were these not the actual bottoms? Guess what? Because we didn't get this massive type of wick, which actually confirmed that we had bottomed out and that buyers thought that these prices were just too low. So we need to find and see some kind of big wick like this on high volume, preferably. You can see the volume over here. This is a very high volume day or hour, and that was the bottom, right? So we haven't got this on these moves, right? We've maybe gotten a short double bottom, but no true absolute peak fear bottom. And that's really what we're looking for here. We're looking for that peak fear bottom. Now, we are, of course, getting a nice little bounce, and a nice little uptrend has been created. So we'll be keeping an eye on this, how this develops over the next coming days or so, and we'll see if it holds. Right now, we're actually picking up even more steam. So we'll see if this steeper uptrend holds. It's not that steep, so it has a good chance of bouncing a little bit higher here. Now, I said that 20,500 would be a likely area that we would bounce to and then start getting shorted again. We actually moved above 20,500. We're now, we actually peaked out at 20,000, almost 20,800. So at this point, right, it looks like a bounce is in play. Could we slip back lower? It is absolutely possible. These are still pretty risky and volatile times, and this can literally be seen by the price action we're getting. I'm on the hourly chart. Guess what? We're getting these huge, drops, call it 15% drop, and then right after we're getting these big bounces. This is typical signs of just bear market volatility, right? So don't take these little bounces too seriously. It is, a great bit of relief, and it's always nice to see a bounce like this, but these things might not last, right? Especially in coming weeks. It might last a few days, it might last a week or two, but you know, very shortly thereafter, we'll probably continue to see quite a bit of downside, unfortunately. Now, we are going to be paying close attention to a few levels here above on Bitcoin, because there is indeed the absolute opportunity for a bounce here. The first and main level that I'm targeting personally is actually where we had this previous bottom. So that level is going to be right around $24,000. Pretty much $24,000 exactly. Now, I do know a lot of people are expecting us to bounce a little bit more than that, and I think we could, right? Because we don't have that much resistance up here. So realistically, we could pretty easily, if this is actually going to be a bit of a stronger bounce, we could move up even as high as 28,000. So let's call it between 24 and 28,000 are the likely bounce areas. And to be honest, even from these price levels, right, that's a pretty nice percentage move. That's going to be a 35% move to the upside from where we're at now. And from the bottom that we put in, that's a 55% move higher. Now, this is very nice, but it's also a huge opportunity for a massive bear trap, because what's going to happen, right, as we go higher here, potentially in the next few days, a lot of people are going to think we're going to get a breakout above, right? And guess what? What's likely to happen is, yes, we might move up into this range, 24,000 at the lowest, maybe, you know, anywhere up to 28,000, right? But eventually, some point in this range, especially around this 26,000 level, we can end up getting right back down. And at that point, right, everybody who will have longed it will be trapped in their longs and start getting liquidated again to push us to the downside. I want to remind all of you that we have major firms going bust in the crypto space, huge entities, VC funds like Three Arrows Capital, and Celsius also has a massive liquidation at $14,000 per BTC. Now, we haven't seen those levels just yet, but they aren't that far from, where we're at now. In fact, with this bounce, 14,000 is only about a 30% drop, right? That's nothing in crypto, and that's going to liquidate 20,000 Bitcoins, over 20,000 Bitcoins, which has a market value of over $500 million. So you can imagine the type of damage that that can do on the crypto space. Let's go ahead and have some fun here. I'm going to refresh the Coin360 overview of the crypto market. And here we're going to see, you know, how these coins are performing. So you can see people exiting from stable coins. They're going back into crypto. We can see that ETH is doing very good right now, but that is also due to the fact that ETH got hit so hard on this drop. I still don't like these levels of $1,000 for Ethereum. I think we're going to go a lot lower than that, so I'm not touching this right now. It is tempting, but you have to keep in mind, right, we didn't actually see a flush out on Ethereum either. And please make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content like this. Hopefully you're finding this useful, and I'll continue to be keeping you updated in this volatile market. If you appreciate it, please make sure to leave a like. If you have any questions on any coins, I will go ahead and take a look at that as well. So please let me know in the comments below if there's any specific coins you want me to take a look at. And finally, if you want to show your support for the channel and make sure that I see anything you say, go ahead and leave me a super chat so I can make sure to get to any question, or if you just want to say something, it would be greatly appreciated to support the channel. Now, we're taking a look at Ethereum. As you can see, if you watched my live stream yesterday, I was talking nonstop about this $850 level. And as you can see, we actually did hit a bottom on this. I'm not sure why my chart is not appearing properly here. I want to see the price levels on the Ethereum chart. I don't know why they disappeared. There we are. So the low that we put in there for Ethereum was at the peak bottom, $880. So almost spot on to the level that I was just talking about, right? Which was $850. You can actually see that I had put in that support line, and look at how close we came to that after getting the bounce. So I was pretty accurate with that. And like I said, right, although Ethereum is getting a very strong bounce right now from that level, right, literally 28% bounce in a day. That's huge. That's 28% from the peak bottom, almost 30%. You know, if we move higher, so if we see a $24,000, $26,000, $28,000 Bitcoin, we can expect Ethereum to literally go up to 1,500, and it could even peak out at 1,600, basically almost 1,700. Now, once again, this could be a huge bear trap after seeing a bounce that we could get of around 90%. That's going to bait a lot of people into buying just to fall right back down lower again. You have to realize the amount of selling pressure that's in these crypto markets right now. And yes, we're going to get these big relief rallies. This is very common for bear markets, right? We get these huge bounces, but they don't last. Took a look at the one back here, right? Got a 40% bounce. It even peaked out at 60%. And guess what? Fell right back down. Absolute bear trap up here and fell right back down. So this is what I'm trying to kind of warn people about. As per usual, none of this is financial advice. It's just my own personal opinion, but I'm telling you what I see on the charts. So let me take a second to look at the chat here. We got Iron Lux Trader saying great content. Really appreciate you hitting the like button. Thank you so much. Also, Joe asking for me to cover Cardano ADA. We're definitely going to take a look at that in just a second. Now, I did purchase just a few coins. I didn't put that much money in during this drop. If you watched my live stream yesterday, you'll know a few of those coins that I purchased. I bought Uniswap right around $3.60. So I got a very nice buy price on that. And you know, it could come back down lower. I'm just going to be accumulating these slowly. I really like Uniswap right now at these price levels. I also purchased SushiSwap. Going to point out Quant. I know someone in the live stream was asking about Quant yesterday. We got a nice bounce on this above $50. That's a nice level to get back above. I also purchased SushiSwap, ENS, and let's actually take a look at how ENS is doing. I absolutely love the Ethereum name service. I own a lot of .eth domain names, and this coin is actually getting a pretty strong bounce. It actually was bouncing before the rest of the market yesterday even. So as you can see, this one didn't even really hit any type of major downside, right? It just kind of stabilized, and now we're pumping higher on it. And then I actually bought a riskier play here. I bought a lot of Looks Rare token. This is the second biggest NFT trading platform, and I actually got in on this around 25 cents, so very big bounce here for Looks Rare. These are just some fun plays to get these at the very cheap discounts that they're at. We'll see what happens. Keep in mind, altcoins are going to be riskier than sticking to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Although I will say, right, and let's go ahead and take the opportunity to go check out ADA, Cardano. A lot of these altcoins have actually, and I'm talking about the smaller altcoins here. I'm not talking about Ethereum. A lot of these smaller altcoins have actually sort of bottomed out a little bit. And the reason for this is because they just hit these rock bottom levels so quickly that there wasn't much more downside left in them. If we take a look at Cardano, right, this was down about 85%, and I mentioned it yesterday. I'm pretty proud of my call there. Now I did say we could, if we break below, you know, 40 cents again, we could break down to 25 cents, but I also said that we are in this range, right? I actually drew this out on the chart. I said we're in this range right now on Cardano, and I said that since it probably hit, for right now, its peak bottom, or really it just completely bottomed out. As you can see, we've already been range bound now. This is a great sign, right? This is actually multiple days where we've been range bound and we didn't break lower. Guess what? Bitcoin broke lower during this time. Ethereum broke lower this time. Cardano did not break lower this time. Now, granted, it has fallen a lot, right? It fell before, but now it's completely stabilizing. And this could last for weeks, if not months. So the bullish thing about this is that right now in the medium to short term, it does seem like we hit our rock bottom for Cardano. And, you know, of course, if we get some type of breakout above 30K on BTC, then at that point, I'd say maybe we're going to get some upside above 65 cents. But until then, I think this is just stabilization to potentially more downside. We'll have to see, though, because Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be leading that move. So those are the ones that we're going to want to keep the most of an eye on. And that is pretty clear by the fact that they've been both leading to the upside and the downside. Now, we have some interesting comments here. Darren saying too early for anything meaningful. October will be the turnaround. I believe he's referring to October. There's a lot of rumors that the Fed is going to turn back on the money printers in October, and I could absolutely see that happening. So that would be a prime time to get a very nice pump in the crypto space, and that pump would probably last. So we got to make sure that that actually comes to fruition and that it actually happens. I also got a comment asking for a little review of XRP. I will gladly do that. I haven't talked about XRP in a while, and also have someone asking about the 200-week moving average. I believe maybe 200-day he's referring to moving average on Bitcoin. So I will be talking about that right after our little XRP analysis. Like I said, if you're enjoying this stream, please leave a big thumbs up, share the stream with your friends, and also check out my favorite exchange, bit.com. They have cryptocurrency options available for trading. This can allow you to hedge yourself both to the upside and the downside. If we're in a bearish market, we can buy puts. If we're in a bullish market, you can also hedge yourself, right? They have both calls and put options on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BCH. Link to bit.com in the description of this video. Now, let's take a look at XRP. XRP is at historically a level that has been extreme consolidation, literally the coin that consolidated the most ever, 30 cents. And guess what? We had that exact consolidation. Now, the range was decently big, around 15 cents up to right about 30 cents for literally, 2 years straight of consolidation for XRP. And this was very, very tight in this range consolidation for days and days and days, weeks and months. And we could be seeing something very similar happen. The good thing is, right, it's a little bit harder to be in the red on Cardano, because unless you really bought during this massive pump, right, you probably got in at some fairly decent levels. So right now, right, we are actually right around the upper part of this range. We're basically hanging on top of it. Could we get a bit of a bounce here? It is possible. I wouldn't get too ahead though to be extremely bullish or anything. We might get a pump up to 50 cents. That is possible. But right now, I want to say that within the next few weeks, we're probably going to start to see XRP slip into this range. But the positive is I'm not expecting it to really break below 15 cents. I think we're going to stay very range bound here for XRP in this range, and that can be a terrific accumulation area in this little range that I drew for y'all right here. So that's between 15 cents and 30 cents. Could we see a peak bottom lower than that, below 10 cents? It is possible, but that would be very temporary. I think for the most part here, going forward, we're going to see it in this range, which is actually possibly better than other cryptos out there. So holding up pretty well. Don't expect a massive rip anytime soon, although we could get that pump to 50 cents, but that's what I'm seeing there for Cardano. Let's go back to Bitcoin now and look at that 200-week moving average. Thank you so much for watching the stream. I appreciate the support. We're currently at 22 viewers. I want to get this up to over the amount of viewers that we had yesterday, which was a peak of 51 viewers. So make sure to share this with your friends and leave a like, subscribe, guys. I will keep doing these live streams if you enjoy them, so make sure to show your support down below. Now, for Bitcoin, we are going to look at that 200-week moving average. This chart is getting messy once again, but bear with me here. The 200-day moving average is right here. It's this red line all the way up here at all the way up at $40, but I believe what the person in the chat was talking about was the support level right here of the 200-day moving average. So what I did there is I increased the time frame to the 30-minute chart, and as you can see, we are now above it. Let's go on a cleaner chart here. The reason why this 200-week moving average is so important is, or 200-day, is because it is a historical bottom indicator for Bitcoin. So we're going to go ahead and go to, actually, let's see, does the monthly time frame work on this? We're going to go to the weekly time frame and look at where that 200-day moving average is. This is what I wanted to pull up. So I know there's a lot of lines, but just stay focused on this red line right here. That's the 200-day moving average, and has served, I'm sorry, I need to go on a much cleaner chart for y'all. This is a bit too messy. So let me clear the drawings as well on this. So this 200-day moving average, this red line right here, has been historical major support. In fact, if we look back, right, we bottom out on it here. We didn't dip below it this time or that time around. We just kind of consolidated on it and moved higher. We also bottomed out right here. This one was even better because we got that wick that I was talking about. And then over here, right, moving forward to where we're at now, we are at this 200-day moving average. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind. First off, we spiked pretty low below this 200-day moving average already. In fact, let's go ahead and 20% below the moving average. And historically, right, we haven't really done that before. Even back here where we did dip temporarily below it, it does look like, I guess it was about a 25% drop. So, you know, this could be the bottom. It is possible if this serves as any indication. And we are oversold, so keep in mind, right, like I said yesterday in the live stream, although we could flip back lower and reach 15k 12k BTC, regardless, in the long term you're still getting in an absolute steal discount prices, because if you had bought any time in the past below the 30-day moving average, which we are massively below on, this was a historical terrific bottom, right? And we actually didn't even go as low as we did now. We're down to 25 basically on the RSI, which is extremely low. So right now we're getting this bounce action. We are probably going to bounce to the full, you know, top of the moving average here, 22,000. Like I said, we could absolutely get that move to 26,000, possibly even try to push that to 28,000. I'm going to be careful though, because I'm going to be a bit scared that around 24 to 26,000 we're going to start to see the shorts pile in again and fall lower. So the reason why this is key right now is if we really get a strong bounce, you know, I'd say we'd have to get above this blue line to confirm any type of bullish action. And so I'll go ahead and draw that right now. That's at $37,000. I do not see that happening under any circumstances in this type of market. And I also want to mention that this little bounce that we're seeing here today, although we could bounce higher, is not out of nowhere. It's actually due to the stock market futures that are turning heavily green. And please keep in mind, the stock market futures are heavily manipulated. We see these things pump in weird ways all the time, and so it's very tactical. They're actually increasing as we speak. So NASDAQ futures above 1%. And guess what, right? Both the stock market and crypto markets play off each other. These futures started turning green as we're anticipating the Tuesday open of the stock market, since Monday is a holiday and it's closed. This is causing Bitcoin to get some bullish price action right now at these levels. So very, very important stuff here to be taking everything into consideration. And I just want to welcome everybody we have in the stream. We're actually at a bit of a high right now of 23 people in the stream. I really want to beat our record of yesterday of over 50 people. So please make sure to share the stream with any friends that you think might like. Show your support for the channel. I'll also be taking questions here if you want to ask me anything about this market, this bearish market, the volatility, potentially how to hedge yourself, anything. I'm here to answer your questions. So please let me know in the comments down below. That's what I'm here for. And if there's any coins you want me to take a look at, I'll gladly do it. We've already covered a few, XRP, etc. You know what? Just to switch things up, let's go ahead and check out Uniswap, which is a coin I bought, and then we're going to check out Solana. So let's go ahead, take a look at Uniswap right now. And this is a coin that's fallen a massive amount from its previous high, right? This is over a 90% drop, and we're basically back to its launch prices, right? We could get a little bit range bound here in this area, but I think that this is, you know, a prime bottom area. You know, this actually reminds me a little bit of the XRP chart. Let's take one good look at this chart here, right? We have, you know, the initial launch followed by a huge move towards the upside, then downside, and then what I think is going to be a lot of consolidation until the next bull market, where we're going to go flying higher on Uniswap. Pretty much one of the biggest DeFi protocols, over $800 billion traded on it since inception. And let's go ahead, take a look at that XRP chart again. And often you'll see these coins in the bear market start to form similar bottoms and similar price action, where once again, this chart is way too messy. Let's go on a cleaner chart here. So guess what? What was I mentioning on the Uniswap chart? Initial launch, right? Huge skyrocket to the upside, followed by a huge drop, and then what I think is going to be a lot of consolidation, very similar to this on Uniswap, right around that $4 range potentially, give or take, right? It could bounce between $2 and $4 and then get that next pump higher. XRP got stunted due to the whole SEC lawsuit thing, so it did end up falling, but on the next bull market, these altcoins could perform very well. So I think that this is going to be a very similar pattern that we might see across many of the better altcoins, at least, right? So take a look at that chart one more time, and now look at Uniswap, which has been around for much less time, right? Than really only started pumping in 21. So this could be a very similar pattern to XRP, and we'll often see many coins form these similar patterns, which is looking like a lot of consolidation ahead. Maybe we'll drop a little bit more. I'm expecting only about a 50% drop for the most part on a lot of these coins left, and we'll hit our peak bottom. Now, one thing that I want to say about these type of moves to the downside is it does remind, or sorry, the bounces that we get, right? These bounces are a reminder that there is still value in these crypto markets, and that we can actually bounce, right? It can seem a little bit daunting when we're getting days and days and days like we got here of downside. Is this just done for? Well, the fact of the matter, the market always comes back around to put in that green candle, right? And eventually bottom out. So while this bottom might only be a short-term bottom that might only push us up only a little bit higher, right? We will eventually get that bottom like we got in the past, right? That will actually be a true bottom, which will allow us to get our next move back to the all-time highs and above. So you need to keep the long-term picture. Don't be discouraged just because we're in a volatile time. Yes, we could still see red days ahead, but those red days can be some of the best accumulation periods, which is why I went ahead and started loading up on some of those coins: Uniswap, SushiSwap, Lux, and ENS, right? Now, of course, none of that is financial advice. Any of these coins are going to be pretty risky in this type of market. And these smaller coins can experience huge volatility. I mean, we're seeing the moves that we're getting on Bitcoin here. Let's go back to the 30-minute chart. Moves of 15% in a day for the bounce, or even 30% bounce, right? Massive bounce on Ethereum due to it, really getting hit hard during this market. Well, guess what, right? That volatility can sometimes be even more extreme in the smaller coins, but I will give credit where credit's due. 30% bounce here for Ethereum. I even said, if you saw earlier in the live stream, we could go all the way up to a 90% bounce, right? If we're going to start to see liquidations of shorts this time, but that's still going to be within the pattern of the bear market to then fall lower again. That would obviously be an extreme case scenario where we get a huge amount of buy pressure and liquidations start to happen. We could just as easily only peak a little bit higher, or even where we're at now, and fall back lower, right? This stuff can turn in the flip of a switch. If we get bad macro news, the stock market takes one of these days, we're going to see these cryptos turn instantly deep red. I'm telling you right now, right? If come Wednesday, for example, we see the stock market turn red in the futures and we start dumping, Ethereum and all the coins with it are going to start turning red again. At any time though, since we are so low right now on these charts, we could start to see some nice bounce action. I don't necessarily think that it's really going to be the absolute bottom and last, but we could definitely see some bounces. This could happen in both stocks and cryptocurrencies. But once again, I just want to remind everyone, we need to look for those massive wicks, right? These green wicks to signify a true bottom, because until then, it is just a bait in a downtrending market like it was here, right? And actually, this is a really nice example. I'll go ahead and zoom in on this, right? This is a little bit back in the past, but look at this drop right here, right? This perfectly exemplifies what I'm talking about with these massive wicks being needed to put in the bottom. So if we take a look during this drop, we were getting little bounces here and there, right? And coming back up to the middle of the Bollinger Band, but none of these bottoms actually sustained, right? We kept going lower. We kept trickling down to the downside. How could you have known which one was actually going to be a lasting bounce? Guess what? Huge hammer candlestick. This is known as a hammer candlestick. It is, a very small body and a huge, skinny tail here for the end of the candle, and so this is signaling that people bought these prices up, right? They felt like these prices were too low, they bought it up, and guess what? This allowed us, now we did test it a few more times, but it did actually signify the bottom, where we then, you know, went higher from there, significantly higher, right? If you had bought that, that was the play of a lifetime right there, right? Went all the way up to 175% bounce, initially hitting 130, but then peaking out at 170 plus percent bounce. That was for Ethereum. So keep that in mind. Watch for that big buy candle that will signal the bounce. If you don't know too much about technical analysis stock trading, check out my technical analysis master course. It's less than 20 bucks, comes with a 30-day money back guarantee. You've got nothing to lose by giving it a try, and I cover candlesticks and everything else you want to know about technical analysis trading. Link to that in the description of this video. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter for live cryptocurrency market updates. I've been posting much more in there. That's usually where I post very fresh information and potential alpha. So I'll go ahead and take a look at the chat here. I'm running through so many charts, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live stream. We're now at 34 people. This is the peak of the live stream. Let's try to get this up to 50 people, folks. Really want to see it. I want to beat new records for this live stream, and hopefully you're all liking these type of live coverage videos, live analysis. You know, it's obviously funner to watch this live, seeing the ticker move up and down as we speak. You can see if I'm right or not in real time. And just go ahead and make sure, give this live stream a like, subscribe as well. So let me go ahead and read some of these comments here. We've got Aaron saying, hey, I've been following you since 2017. Love the insight. Do you still think Phantom can reach and Cadena can reach $100 in the long term? Amazing question. Thank you so much for asking that. Those are two coins that I haven't been paying attention to. Well, I've been kind of eyeing them personally, but I didn't talk about them on the channel, so I really appreciate that. It looks like some of you want a Right Trader Discord group. I'll have to think about it. I've got other questions about Moon River again and Hex. These are things that I have actually covered yesterday, but I'll gladly cover them again. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. For everybody who just joined the stream, we're peaking as we speak. Amazing. We're going to be covering a few coins here. We're going to be covering Hex. We're going to be covering Moon River, and we're going to be looking at Cadena and Phantom. I'm sure a lot of you want to know what's going on with those two coins, Cadena and Phantom. These were the sort of prodigies of this bull market, right? These were coins that saw massive 500% plus moves, and you know, really gained a whole new bit of recognition in the crypto space. So we have Phantom over here. It's currently sitting at 23 cents. Completely bottomed out in my opinion, right? I don't see that much more downside for Phantom. I actually think that this coin can do very well despite all the drama that it's had and the issues. I think that it will be a star performer in the next bull market, and I'll even be thinking about picking up some myself in these low price levels of around 20 cents, right? Seems like I need to check the peak low that we got, but yeah, 19 cents, you know, I don't really see us going much lower than that right now. I'll have to take a look at the more detailed chart, and we'll definitely be doing that. But let me go ahead and jump over to Cadena real quick, right? And just look at these absolute massive moves higher that we got during this bear market. It performed so strong, even peaked out a second time before falling lower. So these have now gotten a lot of respect, and we know these two coins can pump very quickly. Cadena down all the way to $1.68. This is extremely low, guys. Can see down 93.9% from the all-time high of $27. Huge drop for Cadena. Nothing changed fundamentally with the project, I believe. These were probably just people having to sell off this coin because to cover margin calls, who knows. But like I said, these smaller altcoins are going to get hit harder in these type of bear markets. However, I will point out, right, the massive pump that we got from 37 cents all the way to $27. Massive move, and guess what? We're at $1 now, right? I don't care if you're buying this at 30 cents, 50 cents, $1, $2. If we're going back to $30 plus on the next bull market, which I think could actually happen, that's a buy of a lifetime. That's not financial advice, but I just want to really point out how much these both of these coins can pump in a bullish turnaround, right? Whenever that happens. So let's see. Right now, Phantom, interesting moves for Phantom. So we have this previous bottom here, which is acting as pretty strong resistance, but that could easily become support as well. So right now, the range that we have fully is between right here, between 19 cents and around 25 cents. And we have a lot of resistance, right? I think this could actually even go up a little bit higher, to be honest. I'm almost feeling like I don't see as much of the downside potential. Are we really going to sink lower than this for Phantom? I kind of have trouble seeing that. If anything, I actually think this one might pump a little bit here, climb back up into 30 cents and actually get into this bigger range of around 38 cents to 25 cents and more bounce in this range right here. We've talked about how these coins can consolidate now in the coming weeks for quite some time. This is a pattern that Uniswap is showing. It's a pattern that XRP is showing. So many of these smaller altcoins are showing a pattern of kind of already hitting rock bottom and potentially starting to consolidate. Phantom actually looking like it might bounce a little bit here before consolidating. So this is actually one that might get some bullish action here in the next few days. Taking a look next at Cadena, actually just for fun, before we go to Cadena, I want to calculate the massive price move to the upside that we saw on Phantom. So let's go ahead and check out how big that price pump was exactly. This was a pump of 5,000+%, right? And guess what? Guess what could happen on the next bull run? 1,200% to the previous all-time high, and I could see this even reaching $5 plus on the next bull run. So you need to keep in mind, right, these are going to be the riskier, more volatile plays. I will absolutely say the risk and the reward is very high on both of these, but like I said, higher risk, higher reward, both Cadena and Phantom. So that depends on your own risk tolerance level. I actually like the chart of Cadena right now, and I'll tell you why. First off, I'm seeing a few things, right? This is previous support back here, very nice consolidation before getting the move to the upside, and now we're getting a pretty typical sell-off post skyrocket that we had, right? Also massive 2,000% plus move. And now that we got this drop, right, where we're coming all the way back down, 90+% drop, I think we kind of hit a potential bottom here for Cadena of around $1.40. And at this point, it looks like the range could potentially be a little bit higher, but it could also be shorter. So this one could move. We'll have to see in coming weeks, right? Are we going to stay more tightly range bound between $1.50 and $2.50, or could we even go a little bit higher up to $2.50 and $4? And you know what I'm going to say about that? If you're wondering, I think this really depends on Bitcoin. What does it depend on? It depends, first off, are we going to get that 12K drop to Bitcoin? And second of all, if we do get some type of more sustained bounce where we start consolidating, where will the consolidation be, right? Is the consolidation going to be all the way down here at 10,000? Is it going to be, between 10,000 and 20,000, so right around 15,000, or is our consolidation going to be a bit higher, more towards potentially 30 to 35,000 for a while, right? So we need to see where the true consolidation starts getting put in. That's what's going to dictate where we're going to consolidate on some of these altcoins like Cadena, if we're going to consolidate more to the lower side or to the higher side, right? This depends on if we're going to get a 50+% bounce right now on Bitcoin. 28 people in the stream. Welcome everyone. Hopefully you're having a great day. We're going to be covering a few more coins here that are being asked on the stream. Feel free to ask any of the coins you want me to take a look at. We've got someone mentioning 1inch and Chainlink. Those are both two very good coins in my opinion. And we have some people think that we did see the bottom. Some say we didn't. We have Ryder thanking me for another stream. I appreciate the support, Ryder. Quant is looking good. I mentioned it actually in this live stream. I thought about you mentioning it, and yes, we are back above $50. That's a good price level to be back above for Quant. Gonna have much more support there at a little bit above $50 than below it. So that is a key price level. So let's go ahead, take a look at Moon River and Hex now. I'll go ahead and cover Hex since it was asked first. Now let's go ahead and see what's happening with Hex. So let's see, I don't know if this is an accurate chart here for Hex. Let's see, let's try and get a USD chart up here. So currently at 3 cents. I mentioned yesterday this could still go lower down to 2 cents or even a full cent. And right now, right, we're getting these very small candles, not really getting a sharp enough bounce as I would like to see. Granted, this could happen, right? We could get a sharper bounce, but I'm not seeing that many levels where we would target. It looks like this 8 cent level has a little bit of a gap there, but very small. So potentially on some type of bounce in this bear market, we could go up as high as that, which, you know, that's a big price move, right? That's almost a 300% price move. But I still think that these candles are too weak and small for the type of bounce that we're seeing in the other coins. I think this one will ultimately have to bottom out lower, more towards 1 cent, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and take a look at Moon River. Please let me know any coins you want me to cover. You can support the stream by dropping a super chat if you want to tell me anything, or if you want me to make sure to cover a specific coin. Moon River above $10. Like I said, what's going to be so interesting now, and we really got to pay attention. I'll make sure to keep you updated in the next few days and weeks. Some of these coins are bouncing, some of these coins are slowly bottoming. The question is, you know, we're going to see a little bit of consolidation, meaning sideways price action before we pump higher. But the question is, where is that going to be? Example for Moon River. Are we going to consolidate below $10? Are we going to consolidate right between, you know, $10, $20, maybe $15? That all, you know, will dictate kind of where our base range is put in, where our floor is put in, and then, you know, how high we'll be able to get on the next bull market. So it really depends where we put in these floors for these various coins. We're going to go back to the Bitcoin chart here, and let me go ahead, take a second once again to look at all your comments. So great new coins that people want me to take a look at. I'll obviously be covering them for you. I love doing this. We've got Sand and GMT, and also someone mentioning that he feels like Alluvium could bounce. I did cover it yesterday. We can potentially take a look at that later in this video, but let's go ahead and cover Sand and let's see, go ahead and cover Sand, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at GMT. I believe that's a smaller altcoin. So Sandbox, I'm keeping an eye on it, as well as with Mana. These are the two sort of prime, let's see, it's pulling up some weird charts here. We're going to want to go to the USD chart. These are two, you know, blue chip metaverse tokens that are back to their previous consolidation levels. Mana right around 80 cents. This was a massive consolidation level. Similar pattern to Uniswap and all those other coins that we talked about. Expect much more consolidation ahead. Horizontal consolidation before we get the move higher. I do think we put in a bit of a bottom here for Mana. I really do. I think this one might be one that might not even revisit the lower levels, even if we fall lower. It seems like we're really hard hitting a floor there on Mana at that price level. Go ahead and draw that out right now. That's between 60 cents and you know, it depends how high we might get a bounce. This could actually bounce a decent amount, right? We could get back above $1 and consolidate a little bit higher on this, but right now we're just going to take a loose range of around $1.50 to 60 cents. Let's go back to Sandbox, see is it performing better or not. Let's take one last good look at the Mana chart. So yes, we did get the drop, and now we're seeing a very nice bounce and some consolidation. Let's turn over to Sandbox and take a look at what's going on there. So a little bit more volatile right off the bat. I believe Sandbox may have actually dropped a little bit more, but that's because it also peaked out a lot more, right? This is one of the coins that got the strongest pump in the entire bull run. That was a pump of 1000% in literally just 2-3 weeks, and we got the sell-off. Now let's go ahead and take a look at how much Sandbox actually dropped from the high. About a 90% drop there, so pretty typical right now for what's going on. Couple things to point out compared to Mana. First off, Sandbox is below its little bottom that it put out here. So yes, we could move bounce that. We could get back above $1.10, $1.35. You know, pretty similar price levels actually to Mana. However, it's below that previous bottom. That wasn't the case for Mana. So it is actually a little bit weaker as of right now than Mana. Not saying that it's going to perform bad or anything like that. You know, we're back to the previous consolidation levels, but this is one that could actually consolidate a little bit lower than Mana based on what I'm seeing on the chart, right? Because if we flip lower, we're not able to really regather these higher levels up to $1.50. We could actually consolidate all the way down between 20 cents and 80 cents. So there is a potential to slip on Sandbox. So really want to see this start to bounce now to get us above this line and make sure that we can consolidate above it and not below it, where we could sink lower, right? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, because that could cause selling pressure if we aren't able to really recover that price level. I'll take a look at GMT. We got 1 inch being mentioned. Just for fun, let me know in the comments down below if you have watched me before and since when, or if you're new and you just found the stream, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear that from all of you. Are you still bullish on Curve long term? Curve has been hit hard. I am absolutely still bullish on Curve long term, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So let's go ahead and take a look at GMT. Like I said, I always want to try and cover every coin that's being mentioned. So this is a coin that, you know, was a bit of a pump coin. Now, granted, the chart is actually still quite strong, to be honest, right? We're back right before where the previous pump started. We got a nice bounce off that. Now we're actually pumping off that 25%. This could have already hit somewhat of a bottom. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. Let's go ahead and take a look at, you know what, let's go ahead and take a look at 1 inch for fun. This is interesting DEX coin. So bit of weakness here still now, but we are, you know, at very, very low price levels. And this is a coin that has a really good project behind it. But I do want to see this really start to consolidate at the very least, right? Because right now we still have a lot of weakness in this coin, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and take a look at Curve. Oh, welcome Doobie to the stream. He literally found the stream today. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. We're actually hitting a peak of 41 viewers. Welcome everybody. Hopefully I plan on making these the best live streams in the crypto space, so we're going to see a lot of improvement in the quality of the streams. I'll put some overlays, and hopefully we'll also start seeing some amazing super chats coming in to support the channel during this bear market, because like I said, right, a lot of YouTubers go and hide in corners and disappear during these bear markets. I'm going to be right here with you in the trenches, trading these coins, spotting the lows, spotting the entry levels, and covering it all for you live on this channel. So make sure to subscribe. Now, Curve, this is a coin that was pretty steady in the bull market. It didn't get any type of crazy pumps, right? I mean, it depends what you consider a crazy pump, but we are in crypto, you know. It did actually peak at about a 800% pump, but it didn't last, right? So overall, this whole move can seem very, very flat, because it was just a lot of up and down price action. We never got sort of a spike higher into above that $10 range, which I wanted to see. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. I do want to go ahead and draw out a little rectangular box here to give you a good look of, yes, while we did see drastic ups and downs in this triangle, we were still in one big triangle here, right? And I'm actually taking that from the top. This will be even more clear if I go ahead and pull this down to the lower levels, right? When we're above this triangle, actually, this could have been a nice way to kind of trade this and look at it. When we're above this rectangle, or on the upper levels of it, those were peaks. Those were not good times to buy. And now we're at the bottom of this triangle. So right off the bat, right, this is going to be a much better entry point than any time previously in the last few months. And this is previously where we had bottomed out. I think that this is a coin, you know, it looks like we could go a tad bit lower. You know, we could peak out to around 35 cents, potentially 30 cents, 25 cents, but there's really not that much downside left for Curve. Keep in mind, this is a blue chip gem. There's already funds like Grayscale who have Curve in their DeFi funds. We're going to probably see many DeFi ETFs in the coming years add Curve to their portfolio. And so you're going to see the price really start to become more and more steady. This is already fairly steady for crypto. And let's go ahead and pull out the chart here that's going to be a little bit more clean. The reason I want to do this is because right now, I would love for Curve to drop to 10 cents, actually. You know, I would buy loads of it at 10 cents. I don't think we're going to go that low, though. You know, we're really already hitting a bit of a floor here for Curve. And this is a AAA blue chip DeFi altcoin, right? That is at 95% plus drop, you know? So this is going to be, I mean, if you want any sign of a bottom, it's this, right? Now, I did see that Curve still has a PE of around above 100%, so it is still pretty high, but this is a protocol that makes real money, and you can stake Curve token. Guess what? I just pulled up DeFi Llama. That is because Curve is literally the second biggest protocol in the entire cryptocurrency space, with $5.1 billion in total value locked. And you can see how low its market cap to TVL is compared to things like Uniswap. I am bullish on Uniswap. As you know, I bought some, but look at the difference, right? We're at 0.36 for Uniswap, but we're at 0.04 for Curve. And that is actually lower than any other coin in the top 10 DeFi protocols. Extremely undervalued right now. You know, it is the second biggest on Ethereum. If we go over to some of the other protocols, it's usually in the top 10 on many of these big protocols. So this is truly a blue chip top 10 of all time DeFi protocols. Amazing project, and will certainly be around forever in my opinion. Not financial advice, of course, so please be careful, especially with these altcoins, but I'm giving you my overview. Nice. Crypto Plumber found the channel yesterday. Welcome. Hopefully you like these streams. I love seeing new people finding the channel and joining. I have been around since 2017, I believe, maybe even 2016. I have been through the biggest crypto pumps and the biggest crypto bear markets that we've seen, right? The entire run up, I experienced it up to 20,000. I was around during the entire crypto winter back here between 2018 and 2021. It was a very rough time, if you have ever experienced it. You know, there was really no hope in crypto, but guess what? That was literally one of the best times ever to be loading up, right? And keep in mind, in these crypto winters, we can still get pretty sizable pumps. We pumped 172% on Bitcoin during that bear market. So you also need to be careful of not getting caught in relief pumps, because yes, we did get a pump right now, but like I said, right, these can still be relief pumps that don't actually last, where we can flip back below 20,000 and start ticking down to 15, 12, 10,000, $9,000. It is not out of the cards. This is crypto. Anything can happen. And keep an eye on the stock market, right? Both crypto and the stock market play off each other. Sometimes we're seeing stocks lead crypto. Sometimes we're seeing crypto lead stocks. And you got to pay attention to that. Look at what happened, right? Stocks dropped a bit from earlier in the video. NASDAQ was above 1% on the futures. Guess what happened to Bitcoin, right? We're lower than when I started the video. We were above 20,500, actually decently above 20,500 when I started the video. Now we're back below it. And I said 20,500 key level. We really want to see in the next probably 3 days a clear move above $21,000 if we want to attempt a move up to 25,000 or even a little bit higher up to 26, 28,000. If we don't get that move above those levels, that will likely mean that we're just going to start heading lower again, right? We really need to get that clear bounce that will at least set us to get a more stronger bounce, because otherwise we're going to flip very, very quickly down to the downside. I won't hesitate to open up short positions in that case either, right? Because these pumps are just baits to unfortunately trap retail investors just to end up liquidating them just a few days or weeks later. So that is the harsh reality of how crypto works, right? It's not a good idea to stay in the fairy tale land. You got to really think about what the smart money is doing, how people are playing this. Ethereum, gonna repeat this one more time, right? We literally got a 30% bounce in a day, actually just a few maybe like 12 hours, right? That's a huge bounce. People will take advantage of shorting this. If you longed this bounce on leverage, right around a 30% bounce, if you were using just 10x leverage, that's a 300% gain. So do you not think someone who put in $100,000 at 10x leverage and just made $300,000 is not going to sell it? I think the answer is pretty obvious, right? And like I said, there is room for more upside, but right now in these market conditions, right, people are going to take those profits eventually, and we're going to start to see the selling pressure come in. This is going to happen until the Fed reverses course and is forced to let inflation grow rampant again and turn back on the money printers, at which point I think crypto will skyrocket. We're going to get above 100,000 for Bitcoin, we're getting above 5,000 for Ethereum, and we're going to see both stocks and crypto rip to new all-time highs. And this bounce, right, although like I said, this is not the true bottom in my opinion, and this bounce is only temporary, it is an indication of just how quickly we can move. Right now we got a 30% bounce based on literally nothing, right? It was just a logical level to bounce off of. We had already substantially dropped and we got the bounce, right? But this is just a little foreshadowing of the type of bounce we could get during the next pump, during the next bull market. When the Fed turns on those money printers, it's going to be ridiculous. If we can bounce in 12 hours 30% on Ethereum, right, I can only let you imagine the type of move we're going to get when we rip back higher. It's going to be like nothing we've seen before. And actually, you know, funny enough, on Ethereum, look at what's been happening, right? We've been getting more aggressive price action as we move forward in time. This initial bull run for Ethereum was very tame, right? We had ups, we had downs, and then we finally peaked out. Look at how extreme this one is. We skyrocketed extremely high. We then sharply fell to an over 50% drop, and then we skyrocketed all the way back up again to right below $5,000 before we peaked out and put in that head and shoulders pattern that then pushed us lower into where we are now. We're in this bigger range between $800 and $1,600, so still more room to bounce higher potentially. But as I said yesterday in my video, $500, very, very likely level to reach right now, especially seeing how easily we slipped below $1,000 and can slip below $1,000 again. I also want to say that we could fall lower into the ranges of around, I'll go ahead and pull up a more clean Ethereum chart. Excuse how messy these charts are. I gotta find a way to manage just how much I'm drawing on these charts during these live streams. But this is a perfect clean chart right here, $360. Let me go ahead and pull this up just a little bit higher. You know, $361. These are levels that we could reach very easily. In fact, these are only around 67% drop from where we're at now. That might seem like a lot, but if we look at where we put in our bottom, that's much less, right? That's around a 60% drop. So this can absolutely happen for Ethereum. Don't think that Ethereum is, you know, can avoid this, because back during the previous bear market, Ethereum fell over 90%. And that is, you know, Ethereum, that was still the second biggest crypto. A bunch of people held it. A bunch of people are bullet on it for good reason. Ethereum is probably the best smart contract platform out there, has the most significant applications, things like ENS, which allow you to have domain names on the blockchain, which I own a lot of actually. And we still got a massive 90% plus drop. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm not trying to, you know, spread any FUD. I'm trying to say this to warn everybody, to show you the pure facts, right? This is not speculation. This is what happened back here. I'm literally just showing you the amount we dropped, and just to show you this can happen again, right? There were a lot of people that never thought we'd go back below $1,000 for Ethereum. We're already at As of right now, a 75% drop. As of yesterday, an 82% drop from the all-time highs. You don't think that we can go a little bit lower to match what we did, you know, back there in 2019? 92% drop. That's exactly the amount we had back here, right? Right around a 92, 94% drop there for Ethereum. Now, the good thing is, right, last time we fell on Ethereum, that was $100. Look at over here. You can see the low, $100. Actually, we fell even lower than that. We fell down to $88. Well, guess what? This time around, if we do reach those lows, right, we're not going to be at $100, folks. We're not going to be at $100. We're going to be at $361, which may not seem much better, but that's over 300% higher than the lows that we put in last time. And that's going to be, of course, most likely one of the best buying opportunities of a lifetime. You know, could be the best buying opportunity of our lifetime for crypto. I can't tell you how long exactly the bear market will last. I can't tell you, you know, how quickly we might bounce. But what I can say is when we're going to be at these lows, right, that is going to be the buying opportunity of our lifetime for crypto. Unless crypto just disappears completely, which I absolutely do not see happening. That's going to be, you know, probably the peak low that we're going to see in our lifetime. Can I get a thumbs up for that? Amazing analysis here on the channel. I'll keep you updated on all these different coins. We're always going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of the coins to try and see what might happen next. We're going to look back at history. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Look at the global cryptocurrency market cap today, up 6.3%. We're now back up to 936 billion. We were below 900 billion just yesterday, and we could actually face some resistance to that at $1 trillion again of market capitalization for the entire crypto market, right? This is adding up Bitcoin and every other coin out there, you know, 13,000 plus coins that is participating in this market cap number. Now, this can actually be support and this can be resistance. So $1 trillion, that's going to be a big round number that could create selling pressure, right? So that would be, you know, about what, 20% bounce from here? Sorry, 10% bounce, right? So might not have that much more steam left ahead. And take a look at the Bitcoin market cap dominance, 41.72% right now. Very interesting. It had initially pumped a bit higher. Now we're falling back down a bit. Why is that? Why is the Bitcoin market cap dominance falling back down again? I'll tell you exactly why. It's because we are finding bottoms in many of the smaller altcoins, such as Cardano, Uniswap, and many other of the better altcoins out there, the stronger altcoins. They are starting to be range bound. So what that indicates to people is that their altcoins are bottoming out, that they can go ahead and load them, that they can buy them, and that they will at least not face too much more downside. And, you know, they would feel comfortable potentially not buying Bitcoin, but buying these bottomed out altcoins instead. That depends on the personal strategies of everyone. And just to see if I might be right on this thesis here, let's go ahead and pull up the ADA to BTC price chart. So, yep, exactly what I thought. Exactly what I thought we were going to see. Massive green candles. What does this mean? This means that the price of ADA is outperforming substantially the price of Bitcoin. We're doing an ADA to BTC chart, and that's confirming that some of these altcoins are heavily bottoming out, especially compared to BTC, because they already fell a lot, right? They fell tremendously. Now, the positive side of that is that they kind of already hit their rock bottom floors, give or take, right? We could fall a bit more for Cardano, but it's not going to be something too substantial. Look at how much we fell in the last 7 days for Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? 30% basically. And look at how much fell on some of the altcoins. BNB 20%, not as much. XRP 9.5%, not as much. Cardano 13.2%, not as much, right? So why have the best coins in the market fallen the most right now? It's because they fell less before. So it's all a compensation game. That's why you got to be very careful chasing both, you know, our top two leaders, Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also the altcoins, right? Don't go thinking just because Bitcoin or Ethereum hasn't dropped that they can't drop a lot. because they might just be, you know, dropping later than some of the smaller altcoins, right? In this specific scenario, that's what happened, and we're seeing some of these altcoins actually bottom out. Perfect example, Solana, actually up in the last 7 days now. And that is literally exactly what I predicted yesterday. If you watched the live stream, hopefully you did. Hopefully you get into the habit of watching these. I love spending time with you. We can see that Solana had actually kind of hit a floor around $25. And I actually even said that we could be, I liked the Solana chart actually. I said that we were going to potentially be heading a little bit higher. And guess what, right? Now, right now it's looking like that. Will we get above, you know, $40? We could. I think we absolutely could. But right now we already see this range starting to form here between $25 and $50 for Solana. I think the rock bottom may be put in for some of these altcoins. I don't feel the same, however, for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, please keep in mind, that's not to say that these altcoins can't fall more. If we start tanking 50% on Ethereum, of course Solana is going to fall more, right? We could see $15, $12 Solana. That's going to happen if Ethereum sinks lower, right? But that doesn't mean that it's anything wrong with Solana. It's just how the market is moving, how the market is reacting to the moves of Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's why we always got to keep an eye on the leading coins in the market. Algo and BAT also strong against BTC. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. I'd love to see that. I know Algorand, you know, pretty strong project. I've used it before. I sometimes use you know, blockchains more than I actually invest in the coins themselves. And Algorand, extremely harsh drop here. But once again, we are in sort of the previous consolidation. Actually, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is exactly the same chart as XRP. Not going to mention anything more about that. Similar pattern. You know, we got the long consolidation and the pump, and now probably going to have a long tight consolidation in the same exact range we got last time right here. So very similar stuff, you know, 17 to 50 cents. We'll know the exact range. Maybe it won't be as low. Maybe it will more be towards 30 cents to 50 cents. But it looks like we hit the more or less the rock bottom floor for Algorand. And let's go ahead and take a look at BAT, Basic Attention Token. Haven't looked at this coin in a while. Actually didn't do that bad during this whole, you know, bear market. Let's go ahead and see. I want to find an all-time chart. Yeah, so look at that, folks. Look at that. Amazing price performance. Now you may be like, what is he talking about? This coin literally fell 80%. Disgusting drop, right? Yes, that's true, but look at that. This is one of the only coins that held its uptrend. Even Bitcoin didn't hold its uptrend. Now, granted, we are literally slightly below the uptrend, right? Slightly below it. Can we bounce back above it? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. I mean, we did it here. We did it here. I don't really think we're necessarily going to go lower on this. You know, I think this one might just bounce back into its triangle. And this one, this is actually a pattern that we haven't seen in the other coins. This one could consolidate in this flag right here. You know, this could last months. This could last months and months and months. Up until, you know, October of this year. Guess what? October is one of the predicted huge bounce days for crypto, at which point we could go flying back to the all-time highs. So actually pretty nice chart here for BAT. Thank you for mentioning that. That was mentioned by Planio 345. Algo is already in 30 cents. It's not going to get any better for Algo. That is absolutely possible. Like I talked about, a lot of these smaller altcoins seem to really be hitting their rock bottom floors. I want to take a second to thank everybody in this live stream for joining. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, check out my technical analysis master course, and check out bit.com, link in the description, the best crypto exchange out there. I'm going to be calling it a day for this live stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to see more new people join these live stream on a regular basis. We have Planio thanking me, no problem. That's what I'm here for, is to cover all these coins. I wanted to thank all of you for joining the live stream. And with that being said, I'll be leaving you for today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Stay